Okay. I know I say okay a lot. Sorry about that. Our next one will be, it's going to be a double pocket page. Yeah, so let me get those out of the way. This one, we're going to cut 2 of them at 5 1/8 by 7 1/4. So let's start with the short side, 5 1/8. Okay, yeah, so 7 1/4. Cut that. Again, I keep my wider long strips because you can always make them into structure strips. Instead of wasting a bunch of paper for structure strips, sometimes I just use that for projects. Then we're going to make this 5 1/8. And I need 2 of them, so you'll actually need 4 total. I already have the other 2 cut out. So 5 1/8. And then you'll need 2 of them. The smaller ones I just throw away. Then we'll need 2 of them, because these will be pockets with flaps. Saw this on Graphic 45's page. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. So this one we'll need 2 at 8 3/8. And I cut it off the short side first because it just works out better. And we can throw that little piece away, just a sliver. And then 4 1/8. Make 2 of those. And then we need 2 small flaps for the top. And these will be 4 by 4 1/8. So I'll just do 4 1/8. By 4. Oops. Hang on. I got a better idea. So let's see, 4 1/8. And this, what I'm going to do before I cut it in half, just so I can get, you could do it before or after. On one side, I'm taking my punch. This is the Martha Stewart, and it is the swirling lace. It also has a corner piece, but I'm going to just punch this edge just to give it a little flare, I guess you could say. Things are in my way. Okay. You could always cut it in half and then punch them, but I'm thinking this might work better. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay. And then get that out of my way. So we're gonna cut this at 4 1/8 this way. Make sure this is 4 1/8. Yeah, we just need to take a little bit off of this one. a little tiny little sliver. And then we'll bring in our scoreboard. And I use a stylus to score things. I watched Jim and I thought, oh, that's a smart idea. Jim the Gentleman Crafter, love him. Had the pleasure of meeting him. Okay, let's see. Because those will actually line up somewhere where you cut it like that. Okay. Just kind of give me a consecutive line on both of them. Oh, I'm not finished with that. Set that aside. And the pieces that are 5 1/8 by 7 1/4, I'm going to score those at on the 5 1/8 inch side at a 1/2 inch. You're going to score a 1/2 inch on 2 long sides and 1 short side. This will be our pocket. Same for this one. Okay. And then for our long flaps, these are the 8 3/8. We're just going to score at 1/2 inch on 1 short side. 1/2 inch, 1 short side. Okay, that's our scoring. Now we need to fold all our folds. I go through and fold all my folds, and then I go through and burnish it all. It's just my OCD thing. It has to be in a specific order. Crazy, I know. There we go. There's that one. And then that one. And we'll burnish. So I told you it has to be a certain order or I just cannot function.
As I was saying before about my daughter, because we'll be a senior. I was telling my story now that the dog finished interrupting me. I was so proud of her. She's maintained her 4.0 since 8th grade when we started actual ABC grades. And this last year she made top 10 and was received an award and all that happy stuff. And her goal is to get a scholarship to college. Hopefully for me it's someplace close by, but for her she wants to go, she's talking about going to Canada to some Vancouver film school. I was like, really?
But then again, she also wants to go to UC Davis, which is close by, and for veterinary school. So I hope she becomes a vet instead of. She's not doing it for film. She wants to do it to develop video games, but forgot to mark my edges, my corners off here. So I will do that in just a minute. On these pockets, the little square at the bottom, just trim that off. I just do an angle cut across so when you fold it over it lines up really nice, less bulk. So anyhow, yeah, she's trying hard to get scholarships and be able to go to school. Excuse me. So for this page, what we're going to do, take one of our 8 1/4 by 8 1/4s, And we'll have our two little flaps, our two pockets, and then our big flaps will go over, the little flaps will come over like that. That's the plan. So, what you want to do first would be to fit your big flap on first, because we're going to fit the pocket on the inside of it. So like before, I hold it down, I place it, I hold it in place, dry fit it, and then stick it down. I know it's kind of hard to see black on black, but it will, you know, be like so. And then you'll take your other long flap and butt it up right next to it. And mine looks like it has a little bit of a, I think my cutter is off. Can't be me, right? Well, let's just take off a little slip on that one. Just because it's one of those things that will annoy me. I know I can cut it off afterwards, but might as well. I don't have it stuck down yet. And of course, I got a little rough edge, so we'll clean that up. Alright. I'm so confused. Making this more difficult than it should be. Okay. Try to butt it up next to there, next to the other flap. I'm off camera again. Okay. Move the tape backing and stick it down. Make sure to burnish real well. Then I'll open it up, and I'm going to probably flip-flop this page around a million times before I decide it's right. So what I want to do is so that this will come up and over. You don't want to, you want to leave a little bit of a gap between your score lines so that you don't have it scrunch up later. And again, I dry fit, and oh, and I just shifted it. I'm so bad. Okay. No. Save it. Okay. Alright. Third try's a charm. There we go. Got it. Ha, I won. Alright. So, dry fit that side. Flip it down. Move the tape backing. And there you go. Stick it down. So there's your first little pocket there. I'm going to turn it over. Like I said, I'm a lefty. I have to do everything. Or lefty. I'm a righty. What am I talking about? Okay. Okay. Hold on that. I still have my tape on. I just kind of lifted it so it'll be easier to take off. I'll butt these right up next to each other. Just like so. Move the tape back in and stick it down. it out. Flip out. I'm being goofy, I'm sorry. But I'm talking to myself, so. And there you go, stick it down. And there you have your two pockets and your two larger flaps that are going to come over like so. And then you'll take your two small flaps, and I had lined them up because I'm so weird that way. Probably did it wrong, but that looks right. Okay. Again, you're going to line it up in the corner here. You're going to line it up just like so. So it'll come down and cover this flap. So I'm going to line it up, lift this edge. Oh, and I just shifted it, I felt it. Felt it. Okay. And stick it down. Again, on this side, butt it up. How does that look wrong? Yeah, that just sits a little bit off. And again, I'm going to trim off just a smidge off of this. Because it should be 4 1/8. It is, but I think it's my cutter is not right. You know what it is? I did not miter my corners. That's what's wrong. Duh. How long have you been doing this? Okay. Let's try it again. Miter your corners, people. Miter your corners. Sorry. Just had to throw that one out there. Okay. And I shifted it again. Ah, really? Okay. Gosh darn it. This is why I do this. Because I shake so much, my hands move, which moves everything I'm working on. So I use my clips to kind of hold it in place, lift it up, stick that side down, lift it up, stick it down, remove that piece, and voila, peachy keen jelly bean. And there you go. So that's another page. So far, so good. So I'm going to make one more of these, and I will be right back, and we'll work on the third page.